I was warming up to go into my fourth appearance, and during that bullpen, I, could really struggle to kind of get any high intent throwing without any pain. So I knew something was wrong. Yeah, baseball means a lot to me. It's something that I've kind of put kind of my whole life into. Pretty much ever since I was little. I was playing baseball, so from little league all the way to, college now. So it's a very big passion of mine. I put a lot of hours and effort into it. I started at two other colleges, and they weren't the best fits for me. I kind of bounced around, and then coming across Del Val, I found the organization and kind of the college as a whole to be very welcoming, especially looking to develop and really kind of take my game to the next level. So I was really happy to kind of find that place here, and just excited to be a part of the team. I'm always interested in playing after college, and that can always look like any way. There's multiple different paths to kind of playing after college. The big thing would always be to kind of look into like independent ball, right? But the main thing is just like working harder, getting myself to be, someone who's even considered to be like a draft prospect, getting velocity up, things like that. So yeah, the goal is always going to be, that next level, trying to play professional ball, whether it's at any level, but just getting to that next step is kind of the goal. I had 3 appearances last year. First appearance, everything felt fine, everything went fine. Second appearance, it was cold. I started throwing my bullpen, arm's not feeling too well, go out to the game. About 20-25 pitches in, my arm is really starting to hurt me, it's starting to struggle. I get out of it, I can't really extend my arm all the way. And then we go into our spring break trip down in Florida, and that's kind of where it really got to me, my first appearance there. I kind of threw it. It felt fine in the game, really struggled to like straighten my arm. And then I was warming up to go into my fourth appearance. And during that bullpen, I, could really struggle to kind of get any high intent throwing without any pain. So I knew something was wrong, so I had to shut down. Didn't throw the rest of the year, got an MRI. That's kind of where I found out some of my trouble. And then that kind of led me into, over the summer, working a lot of like PT, taking some time off, and that's kind of how it all came about. What I had was a posterior elbow impingement. So it's basically kind of the two bones going through my forearm and my tricep that are kind of clashing into each other. So I had a lot of stress reaction in my bone on the backside, as well as a lot of like inflammation in my UCL. It's certainly a struggle, and it's definitely a mental struggle. Not being able to be on the field and help your team, especially when you watch them kind of like struggle a little bit, as our season kind of went last year. It's really hard, but all I know that I can do is just make sure that I rest and recover, and do whatever I need to do to get my body healthy to help the guys on the team as soon as possible. That's kind of how I kind of thought about going about it. So, not trying to get too down emotionally, but just focusing on rest and recovery, and just trying not to kind of let that injury get into my head, especially not being on the field, not really being around the team as much. So the big thing was just not letting that injury kind of get to me, get to my head, kind of push me away from, kind of the sport and everybody. So just trying to work through that is definitely a mental challenge, but something you kind of just have to think about the future and just prepare to get back with your team as soon as possible. I have to overcome, my body wanting to kind of hold back a little bit due to not wanting to be injured again. So kind of just working through that. It takes a lot of confidence in the work that I've put in, a lot of the PT that I've put in. So kind of just building up my body and trusting it that it's going to do what I need to do. And then just getting ready for the season, doing my natural training, going through what our coaches are putting through, kind of their programs, and just trusting what they have for us. Kind of like you said, everyone is going to go through failures, and there's a majority of people whose whole career is going to majorly be a failure. So you kind of have to just keep that in mind. Look at the numbers and say, out of the millions of baseball players that there are in the country, that very small amount of guys ever go on to play professionally, especially in the major leagues. So you kind of have to keep that in mind and just understand that, hey, like I'm playing this game because I love it. I want to get to that next level, but I'm also here just because, you know, I want to play a kid's game, and I want to be around a lot of, you know, talented teammates and a lot of fun guys to be around and just enjoy the game that's really made for kids.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.